Hello, deep divers.
Yeah,
When you get into network security, picking the right tools, well, it can feel like a bit of a maze, can it?
definitely.
Especially with all these powerful open source options out there. They promise great protection, often without that big price tag.
Mm-hmm.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into three of the really big names in open source firewalls: IPFire, OPNsense, and pfSense.
Good lineup.
Yeah, we've got some great insights from a comprehensive review we looked at. And our mission today, really drawing from this source, is to, well, help you unpack these choices.
Right.
Help you figure out which one might be the best fit for what you're doing. Could be a home lab, maybe a small business, or even, a full-blown enterprise setup.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because a firewall, it's not just about blocking the bad stuff anymore.
No, not at all.
It's really shaping your whole network's security posture, what comes in, what goes out, how efficiently things run. It's fundamental.
Absolutely.
And these open source tools, what's fascinating is the sheer flexibility and power they offer. They can genuinely go toe-to-toe with commercial products.
Often even better, some might argue.
Could be, yeah. But, and this is key, they each have their own philosophy, their own design, and definitely their own learning curve.
That's the crucial part.
Understanding those differences is everything because, like you said, there's no single best one. It's about what fits your situation.
Agreed. Okay, so let's kick things off with IPFire. Our source really paints it as being all about simplicity and speed.
That's its core identity, absolutely.
It's built on Linux, a lean version, which straight away tells you it's designed to be, lightweight, efficient.
Doesn't demand a lot of resources.
Exactly. And the interface, people talk about this a lot, it's color-coded, red for the internet, the outside world, green for your local network.
Makes it very visual, very intuitive right from the start.
Yeah, that initial setup feels much less intimidating, which is a huge plus if you don't want to get bogged down straight away.
Right, especially for home users or maybe people new to dedicated firewalls.
And it runs well on, or pretty modest hardware, too. You don't need some beast of a machine.
Which is great for repurposing older kit, maybe for a home lab.
Totally. Feature-wise, it's got the essentials, good VPN support, effective traffic shaping, too. The source specifically mentioned fqPlowCodel.
Yes, fqCodel. That's not just basic shaping.
No. Tell us more.
It's actually a clever queue management algorithm. It actively fights buffer bloat, that annoying lag you can get even on a fast connection.
Okay. Right.
fqCodel helps keep things feeling smooth and responsive, especially when the network's busy. Really good for home use, gaming, streaming.
That's a nice touch. And, of course, vital for security. It gets regular updates.
Which is non-negotiable, really.
So it sounds great for certain users, but what's the trade-off?
Well, the trade-off for that simplicity and speed is it's not as feature-packed as the other two we'll discuss.
Right. Yeah.
And the look. It's functional, but simpler. It might not have the same level of granular control you'd need for, say, a complex business network with lots of internal segments, VLANs, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But that's kind of the point. These characteristics make it, well, excellent for home labs or small offices, places where you need solid protection that's fast and easy to manage without needing enterprise-level complexity.
So this raises a question then. If your main thing is fast, simple, effective protection for home or maybe a small lab, this could be your go-to.
Absolutely. If ease of use and basic solid security are top priorities, IPFire is a very strong contender. It does its job really well within that scope.
But thinking ahead, if someone's network starts simple but they anticipate needing more complex stuff later, like, I don't know, intricate routing between different departments or multiple site-to-site VPNs.
Then that simplicity might become a limitation.
Right, that's where the trade-off bites.
Exactly. IPFire is fantastic for its intended purpose. But if you foresee needing really advanced enterprise-type features down the line, you might outgrow it. It's not designed for that level of complexity.
Okay, that makes sense. It's about matching the tool to the job, now and ideally for the foreseeable future.
Precisely.
All right, so with IPFire's focus clear, let's move on. Here's where it gets really interesting, I think. OPNsense.
OPNsense.
This one feels like a more modern, balanced choice. Very polished.
It definitely presents that way. It's built on FreeBSD, and its origin is quite interesting. It actually began life as a fork of pfSense.
The one we're getting to next, yeah.
Exactly. But it's really established its own path now. It's a distinct, very robust system in its own right.
And a big part of its reputation is that modern, clean web interface.
Yeah.
You mentioned interfaces earlier. What makes the OPNsense one stand out? Why is that important for daily use?
Well, it's not just about looking pretty, though it does look good. It's designed for a better workflow, more intuitive navigation. You often get helpful dashboards for a quick overview. The menus are generally quite logical. There's often integrated help text. Compared to some, let's say, more traditional interfaces, you just spend less time hunting for things.
Less digging through menus.
Exactly. And that balance between usability and power, that's really OPNsense's sweet spot. It gives you a lot of capability without feeling overwhelming.
And capability-wise, what are we talking about?
Oh, it's got plenty. Robust security features like intrusion detection and prevention systems built in or easily added. Good VPN support, naturally. Two-factor authentication for extra login security.
Important.
Very. And a really wide range of plugins. The source highlighted a couple of powerful ones, WireGuard and CrowdSec.
Right. WireGuard's become really popular, hasn't it?
It has. It's a newer VPN protocol known for being fast, secure, and frankly simpler to configure than some older options like OpenVPN or IPsec.
And CrowdSec, what's that about?
CrowdSec is interesting. It's an intrusion prevention system, but it's collaborative. It uses shared threat intelligence.
How does that work?
Basically, if one OPNsense user running CrowdSec detects a malicious IP trying to attack them, that information gets shared anonymously with the central CrowdSec service. Then, that potentially bad IP address gets distributed out to all other CrowdSec users who can then proactively block it.
So it's like a community-powered block list, constantly updated.
Exactly. It's a very clever, proactive approach to security, leveraging the power of the community.
That's a really powerful combination then, having modern VPN like WireGuard and this collaborative security with CrowdSec easily available.
It absolutely is. Gives you some advanced capabilities that feel very current. Now, one thing to keep in mind,
Yes.
OPNsense, with all these features, it does generally need a bit more hardware horsepower than IPFire.
Makes sense. More going on under the hood.
Right. It's not necessarily a downside, just reflects its greater sophistication.
Yeah.
This positions OPNsense as a really strong choice for, say, small to medium businesses.
Or maybe power users at home.
Or advanced home users, absolutely. People who want that modern feel, the strong feature set, but maybe don't need the absolute maximum complexity, or perhaps find the learning curve of something like pfSense a bit steep.
So connecting this to the bigger picture, OPNsense offers this compelling blend. Modern design, good features, without maybe the full enterprise-level learning curve.
That's a good way to put it. It hits a very attractive middle ground for many users. You know, thinking about that small business owner, what's one feature in OPNsense they might not think they need, but would really appreciate once they have it?
That's a good question. Beyond the basics, I think maybe the ease of implementing something like robust intrusion detection, like Suricata, which is well integrated.
Okay, yeah.
Many small businesses just rely on the basic firewall rules. But having IDS-PS running, actively looking for suspicious patterns inside the traffic, not just blocking ports, that adds a significant layer of security. And OPNsense makes setting that up relatively straightforward compared to doing it manually from scratch. It could catch things that simple rules might miss. That extra peace of mind is huge.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Moving from purely blocking to actually inspecting traffic.
Exactly. Okay, that brings us nicely to the third one, pfSense, often called the long-time standard, the benchmark maybe.
It certainly has that reputation, the enterprise powerhouse of the open source world.
Definitely leans towards extreme power and, well, it's been around a while. Established.
Very established. If you say open source firewall in a professional IT context, pfSense is very likely the first name that comes up.
And the features reflect that enterprise focus, right? Our source mentioned things like full VLAN support.
Crucial for segmenting larger networks.
Advanced routing capabilities.
For managing complex traffic flows, maybe between multiple sites or different network zones.
Multiple VPN options. Load balancing.
Essential for high availability and distributing traffic across multiple connections or servers.
And just that general enterprise-level customization, it sounds like you can tweak almost anything.
Pretty much. The level of control is immense.
Yeah.
And a huge factor, maybe its biggest strength alongside the features, is its massive community.
Right. What does that mean in practical terms?
It means tons of documentation, tutorials, guides, wikis, very active forums where you can ask questions and usually get knowledgeable answers, lots of third-party integrations and support. It's trusted globally in professional settings for a reason.
Okay, so immense power, huge community. What's the catch?
Well, as you might expect, all that power and flexibility comes with complexity. The learning curve is significantly steeper than IPFire and arguably steeper than OPNsense, too,
especially for newcomers.
especially for newcomers. And the interface, let's be honest, it looks and feels more dated compared to OPNsense's modern design.
Functional, but maybe not as intuitive.
Functional, definitely, but it can be overwhelming. The sheer number of options and menus, it's powerful, but navigating it takes time and, frankly, a good understanding of networking concepts.
It's not plug and play.
Not at all. It's like, imagine getting into the cockpit of a passenger jet versus a small Cessna. Both fly, but one has vastly more controls and requires much more training.
That's a good analogy. So, while the control is unparalleled, you need to ask if you actually need that level of control and if you're prepared for the learning investment.
That's the crucial question. Is the complexity a worthwhile trade-off for your specific needs? For a simple home network? Probably not. You'd barely scratch the surface.
You'd be wrestling with it rather than benefiting from it.
Quite possibly. But if you're an IT pro managing a complex corporate network, or maybe a university campus, or anything with really demanding requirements.
Then that complexity becomes flexibility, becomes
Yes.
power you actually need.
Exactly. In those scenarios where you need absolute granular control, custom rules, deep integration capabilities, and that proven stability, pfSense is incredibly hard to beat. It's built precisely for those demanding environments.
Okay, so it's really about scale and complexity, defining its ideal use case.
Very much so.
Right, so let's try and tie this all together. What does this mean for you, the listener, trying to decide? Let's recap those core recommendations we pulled from the source.
Sounds good.
IPFire. Seems best for home users, maybe small labs, people who want lightweight protection, something simple to set up and manage. If fast, easy, and effective for home is your goal, IPFire looks like the one.
Straightforward and efficient.
Then OPNsense. This feels like the sweet spot for, say, small businesses or maybe those advanced home users. People who appreciate a modern design but also want strong, well-rounded features. If you value that blend of usability and power, OPNsense is probably your choice.
Right, the modern balanced option.
And finally, pfSense. Clearly the powerhouse. For larger networks, for enterprises, for situations demanding maximum flexibility, deep customization, and absolute control. If you're managing a really demanding network, pfSense is likely the answer.
The heavyweight contender for complex scenarios.
So it really underscores the point, doesn't it? There isn't one best firewall.
Not universally, no.
The best one is the one that actually fits your needs, your comfort level with the tech, and the sheer scale of what you're trying to protect.
Absolutely. The decision really does hinge entirely on your individual context, your resources, your technical skills, and what you need the firewall to do. Each of these offers fantastic value, but they shine in different arenas.
Okay, so to recap our journey, we've looked at IPFire for simplicity and speed, OPNsense for that modern balance of features and usability, and pfSense for ultimate enterprise power and control. It really highlights that knowing your own requirements first is key.
Clarity on your needs makes the choice much easier.
Definitely.
You know, this raises an important question, something for you to think about beyond just the features we've discussed today. How much weight should you actually give to things like the project's long-term development, its roadmap? How active and supportive is the community? What's the underlying philosophy of the project?
Good point. These aren't just static tools.
Exactly. You're choosing something you'll likely rely on for security for years. So considering the health and direction of the project itself, the vibrancy of its community, that's arguably just as important as the current feature list.
It's a strategic choice,
Yeah.
not just a technical one. Thinking about future needs, scalability, support.
Precisely. So we encourage you, think not just about your network today, but where it might be going. How might your needs evolve? Choosing a firewall is a long-term commitment, so think strategically about which platform and which community feels like the right partner for that journey.